Well, so far, we're off to a very hectic start. Hey guys, DB right here, and today I am continuing with what if Barne was born instead of Goku? Barne? Who the heck is Barne, DB right, I hear you ask? Well, for those of you who have been subscribed to my channel for, since I started doing what ifs on this channel, you would know that Barne is my OC character who is the third Saiyan child of Bardock and Gine, and also the official mascot of this channel. So it was about time she got a what if all to herself, having her born ahead of Goku in this timeline. Still with all the same traits that she has in the other interpretations where she's appeared in some of my other what ifs on this channel, such as What If Bardock Stopped Lord Frieza, where she debuted, and What If Gine, the mother of Goku, survived, which has officially finished recording and edited. It's now being scheduled to come out here to be released in a couple of days ahead, the finale. So be ready for that. It's going to be an epic finale. And yeah, so where we last left off with this story, Barne and Bulma were able to secure the Dragon Ball from Roshi after helping Turtle. However, the exchange went very differently than with Goku and Bulma in the original. When Roshi tried to pull his usual stunt like he does with the ladies, Barne actually stepped up to defend Bulma's honor, and we actually got a bit of a match between Barne and Roshi, and well, Roshi found that this girl was full of surprises. She has been very well trained, because after all, Grandpa Gohan is still alive, so she was able to keep training her to the present day, and educating her about how the world works. And since she is able to fly and never hit her head as a child, maintaining who she was as a Saiyan, that basically ensured Gohan's survival. Just luckily for him that Barne was, takes after her mother Gine, being nice and caring and whatnot. And well, because she can fly around, she's explored Orange Star City and knows a little bit more about what the world has to offer. And so, because of all that information and the fact that Grandpa Gohan was able to train Barne for longer, you get the battle between their fight. It's still brief, but Roshi is very surprised, and of course realizes that, this must be the little girl with the tail Grandpa Gohan told me about. Looks like he's training her himself, and he's very surprised when she pulled a Kamehameha on him, and he was like, he barely was able to avoid it. He just wasn't expecting it at all. And he did part way with the Dragon Ball in the end, with the condition that Barne would train with him when this was over. With whatever they were doing with the Dragon Balls was over. Barne agrees, and now they're on their way to continue with their quest for the Dragon Balls. They, of course, run into the terrible Oolong, who we know is not so terrible. And because Barne is a girl, they don't actually need to disguise her as one. And needless to say, Oolong was definitely smitten with Barne. After all, she was in terrific shape and, quite frankly, better looking than most of the little girls at the village. In a way, almost a second of Bulma. And yeah, he does try something with Bulma, but of course this is where Barne springs the trap on him and is able to secure him a lot more easily than Goku did in the original. And well, just like in the original, Oolong takes them to where he took the other girls, and of course the village parts with their Dragon Ball, giving it to the young heroes, and of course Oolong tagging along with the gang, much like in the original. And then, well, as we get towards Yamcha, Yeah, pretty much everything with Yamcha, and pretty much all the way up to where we actually get to Emperor Pilaf, pretty much plays out the same, except that with the battle with Yamcha is a lot more one-sided, with Barne definitely clearly being the stronger. And well, Yamcha, follows and tracks them just like in the original. They meet the Ox King and Chi-Chi much like in the original, except Chi-Chi is not, infatuated with Barne. They're both girls. So basically there's not going to be any, well, there may not be any sudden appearances in future world tournaments where someone gets sprung with a marriage proposal. However, when Barne had a little bit of a sparring session with the Ox King a bit earlier, when Ox King viewed Barne as an enemy, her hits were actually doing a little bit of damage to the Ox King. They were actually hurting a little bit more. Because, well, remember, she is stronger than what Goku was in this timeline. Thanks to all the extra training time she had with Gohan. She's definitely a fair bit more seasoned. But after recognizing the power pole, that whole thing played out. So anyway, and the whole monster carrot thing, that remained the same. Pretty much all the way up to when the dragon is finally summoned to Emperor Pilaf, and Barne, who was actually considering trying to get a wish for herself. She was thinking of maybe trying to bring back her fallen race. Now, of course, now, before I get the angry comments, of course, you can't do that. You can't wish back groups of people who have been dead for longer than a year. That's just how it works. Solo wishes are no problem, though. So, if the dragon said no, she could at least bring back her mother, who she does actually have some memory of. And memories of her mother, she was a kind, caring, loving lady who was really looking forward to the day she'd come out of her nursing capsule. She remembers all that about her. But, of course, they're imprisoned, and she's already worn out, so it's left to Oolong basically to save the day, much like in the original, wishing for the underwear. And, well, they do try to escape, much like they do in the original, only to be captured and put into a steel room with a tempered glass ceiling. So, yep, they're not really going anywhere, except the steel is showing a little bit of wear and tear. Barne's attacks are quite a little bit stronger, so are her ki blasts. So they are damaging, but ultimately they're not giving way. Especially not in time before, she's completely worn out. And, she's just apologizing to everyone. I'm sorry, guys. I really thought I'd be able to get us out of here. I failed. I let you down. I was supposed to protect you, Bulma, and I couldn't do that. And they're trying to reassure you, it's okay. We'll figure a way out of this. No, we won't. I let us down. Now, and of course, she gets angry at this. And suddenly, everyone's asking what Poir's doing all the way up towards the glass ceiling. I'm just getting a last look at the moon. It might be the last one we ever see. I just wanted to enjoy it one more time. And this is where Barne basically gets an idea. That's it. I could transform into a great ape and free us all. And, well, Bulma was more or less filled in about what happens at the full moon. The only ones who weren't told were Oolong, Yamcha, and Poir. However, before Barne looks at the full moon, she advises her friends that after I look at the moon, be ready to run. You'll understand why in a second. Just run, do not look back, and whatever you do, don't come back for me. So, just keep running and just go, go, go. At least they are able to get some warning this time around. And well, she stares at the full moon, and she begins to undergo a transformation. Now, her transformation is slightly different to Goku's Great Ape transformation. Something different sort of happens. Different, but yet the same. She still gets the red eyes and the sudden fixation on the moon. Her heart's pounding harder, the chest is going up, and the muscles are forming. But there are also some green aura sparks, or ki sparks, pretty much blasting everywhere. And those sparks are powerful enough that they do blow a hole through the steel wall, and Oolong, Bulma are pretty much making a break for it now. Bulma trying to get Barne to get a hold of herself. Come on, we can get out of here. You can stop transforming. Yamcha going, Bulma, are you crazy? Didn't you hear what Barne said? Run! And well, as the transformation complete and she achieves and transforms into a Great Ape form, she's got green fur. A very light green, almost yellowish fur. Yes, Barne, much like in every other interpretation of the character and every other what if so far, she is a Berserker Saiyan. Not on the, craziness and violent brutality that is Broly from the original legendary Super Saiyan movie, nor the new one. More like Kale. She's more like Kale. And as we know, oddly enough, a lot of the Berserker Saiyans we've seen up until this point tend to have gentle natures and are timid. Even Broly doesn't really like fighting. But I'm pretty sure his form is actually different to the Berserker Saiyan that we know as Kale. But it's still similar. Same sort of trigger, I think. And well, now before anyone gives me any, but what about Broly? That form can only show up once every 1,000 years. Yes, you may be right about that, but remember that ultimately this alternate brand of Super Saiyan is pretty much a mutation. It's evolution. And that being said, it's had 1,000 years to creep its way into the DNA of other Saiyans. So there could be quite a few Saiyans that are capable of this feat. We don't know because Frieza blew up the entire race. And that's my argument, and I'm sticking to it. So, basically with that, she rampages Pilaf's palace, much like she does in the original, but every hit is like sending shockwaves, and it's knocking down all those giant mushroom-looking tree thingies. It's really making the place a wasteland, just about. And Bulma, Yamcha, and the others did heed Barne's warning, and they have ran. And luckily, they're actually far enough away that Barne's not gonna accidentally attack them and kill them. She's just enjoying herself destroying Pilaf's castle at the moment. Like in the original, Pilaf and his gang do try to fight back. However, it's just, no go. He is knocked out of the sky relatively quick, and then the palace is completely, utterly destroyed by a devastating ki blast from Barne's mouth. We've got to have that. We've got to have something epic there. And so, basically, the others just stay away from her and just wait out the next morning until she would reduce to her normal size. There was no real need to cut her tail, because pretty much after she wrecked the palace, she pretty much just sat there. Didn't bother moving. Okay, maybe wrecking a few more those mushroom trees and trying to eat them, but that was about it. And so, with that, we pretty much get the Pilaf saga all nice and wrapped up. She's, well, luckily, that, Bulma was, smart enough to buy her some spare clothes. Remember, she told Bulma about the Great Ape transformation and what it does, so Bulma did buy her a few clothes, get her a few clothes back when they're at the village where Monster Carrot resided. So when she got a dino cap, she got some spare clothes for Barne as well. Nothing fancy, basically just a purple shirt, some jeans. So in a way, she kind of looked like a tomboy. Anyway, so with that, with Bulma and Yamcha hitting it off like they do in the original, everyone getting what they wanted, well, except poor Barne, who was kind of hoping to see her mother again. But she might get another opportunity yet to bring Gine back, because after all, solo wishes do not have that year time limit thing. You can wait as long as you want to bring back someone who has been dead, as long as they haven't been killed by, natural circumstances. And, yeah, and of course, the only time that year rule is actually a thing is if you try to bring back a group of people who were killed by similar circumstances. The dragon can't bring them back if they've been gone for over a year. For some reason, it's just too much power on the dragon. And, anyways, I feel like I've got to explain that because a lot of people in the fandom get that rule wrong. Anyway, so with the Pilaf saga all nicely done and wrapped up, Barne returns home, tells Grandpa Gohan all about the adventure, that she met Master Roshi and was offered to be trained under him. Oh, well, what are you doing here? Why don't you go? I can afford to wait a couple of days. Besides, I am really craving an ice cream. We went to village after village, and not one of those places had an ice cream sundae. So, with that, after helping Grandpa Gohan trade in some fish at the markets at one of the nearby villages at Mount Palzu, she gets a few zenny and goes to the city to get herself that sundae. And well, as she's at the city, she notices a little bit of funny business happening in one of the alleyways. These two muggers are attempting to mug this woman, and Barney's attention was they got basically Barney's attention when the mysterious woman started crying, and well, this woman was getting ready to bare a fist. But before this woman could react, Barney's already stepped in and taken out the two would-be muggers like that. Now, who is this mysterious woman? Now, you might be thinking it's Launch, but actually no. It is a certain character we've only seen once in the entirety of the Dragon Ball series, and that is, it's Ranfan. Yes, Ranfan was being mugged, but she was about to do her usual shenanigans of crying, pretending to be helpless, and she was actually going to knock out the muggers herself, but Barne has basically beaten her to the punch. Oh my! How did you get such power for a little girl? What? You mean you weren't in danger? Not at all. I was just lowering them to a false sense of security, and then I was going to wham them. This actually happens to me quite a lot. And well, so basically Ranfan thanked her for her help, and they actually bonded over their martial arts and even had their Sunday together, and Barne has basically made a new friend in Ranfan, and basically, Ranfan, wanting to know how she was trained and how she's so skilled, she reveals that her grandpa Gohan taught her. Gohan, you mean the master of martial arts? The man trained by Master Roshi himself? That's the one. In fact, after this Sunday, I'm actually supposed to go over to Master Roshi's island and begin my training with him. And Ran fans actually quite surprised by this. And Barne actually offers to take her on the flying Nimbus over there in order to, maybe Roshi be willing to train both of them. And, why not? Now, the only problem is, Ranfan can't ride the flying Nimbus. She tries, but she falls straight through it. All those little sneaky ways she beats opponents and all that. Not exactly someone of pure heart, But still, she does manage to fly over with Barne. She's just clinging to Barne for dear life. And well, I think, at least for right now, that is actually where we'll leave things for right now. So what do you guys think? Did you enjoy this story? How are things gonna differ with Roshi's training with Ranfan joining in as well? Perhaps she won't need to use such sneaky tricks anymore. Perhaps she'll become, a valuable member of the Dragon Team in her own right. And could be, Barney's bestie in this story. And well, as always, leave your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Do spread this what if around. And I'll be back next time to continue this. After all, we are now getting into marathon what ifs now, so I never lose my place and don't, mess up my what ifs anymore. So this will be being done every day until the conclusion of the series, and the same with every other series from now on, including when I go back to some series that I haven't finished yet, and we'll be finally finishing them all off. So, yes, I will see you guys next time, either way.